the life of a fisherman you wouldn't understand. Something you can't feel on dry land. Gotta get your arms way up in a cage and set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-Loomis trying to bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it the world. Hello, welcome to my world.
What's going on, everybody? It is it's been a while. Been quite a while. Larry Slack in the house. What's up, my man? That's right. First and foremost, been quite a while since we've been live. One, I've been sick the last couple of weeks, and I'm still not over it. I didn't go to the doctor or the hospital. Obviously, I've just had a head cold, some kind of deal going on. Misty brought it home from work. She was sick. She's still sick. And some kind of crazy, I don't know. It's probably if I would have had antibiotics and stuff, I would probably be over it, but I'm hard-headed, and, you know, here it is what it is. So the last couple of weeks, I've been super tired and down in the dumps because I've been sick, and I've been busy at work, and that's why you haven't seen us live. And then the whole tragedy of Charlie Kirk happened, and decided to stay quiet that week because of that stuff. But we're back. We back, baby. I haven't had anything on my YouTube channel for what seems like 65 months. I'm getting back into it. I've just been in a really weird headspace lately. One, I haven't been fishing as much. That's changing. After this week, I'm going to go fishing a lot more. I'm headed down to Fayetteville, West Virginia this Friday, Saturday, Sunday to raft the Golly River. I am super pumped about that. With that being said, we got a little bit of stuff coming at you. Jared just got back from Chickamauga, and him and Brent Jones were down there catching some fish. But one of the main things I want to talk about during this episode is you guys have heard us talking about the F1 saga for bass in the realm of putting it in Paintsville Lake. We thought that with Jason Kenner and all of his knowledge and all the people that's on his page, that they were going to get it approved to put it in Paintsville Lake. They did get it approved through the Senate. They got the opportunity to put these F1 bass in there, and they've been stifled at every turn. Well, he's still fighting the good fight, trying to get that to happen in Kentucky, but I don't live in Kentucky. Some of you guys out there don't live in Kentucky. JR does here, but it would be cool to see it in Paintsville Lake because it's within driving distance of here. But I'm going to show you guys something here really quickly. And all of the credits go to 740 Dronography. But what you're seeing here is Lake Vesuvius. Lake Vesuvius is in Pedro, Ohio. This lake has been drained twice in the last 20 years. The first time they rebuilt the dam, so I'll see if I can find a picture of the actual dam. So here's the dam. They rebuilt this entire dam here, and they drained the lake. I mean, there was way less water than there is now, even in this you know, kind of like state that it's in right now. But this thing is 15 foot low, lower than it normally has been. You can see that up to the left-hand side here where my mouse cursor is at, this is the boat ramp. The boat ramp has been a travesty for years. It's really tough to get any kind of boat in and out of here. This lake, if you don't know Lake Vesuvius, is about 145 acres, give or take an acre or two. Has some decent bass in it, but I feel like that the amount of fish in the had a key word there. I feel like Jared and I were talking about this before the show started. I feel like that one, they have, I mean, half of this lake is drained. I mean, you can look at through some of these pictures here, and this is around from the dam. And like, there's a picture here somewhere I was looking at. There's the picture of the boat ramp. Let's see if I can find some more pictures here. So this is a picture. I guess it's this would be a little bit past the dam, looking back towards the boat ramp. Here's the new beach there that you see, that new as in brand new, not nude.
Nude beach. What?
Yeah. All right. So this is the picture I'm talking about. So as far as I can tell, that back through here is back where all the lily pads normally go, and then way back in here is Paddle Creek. Well, you can tell that there's no water in that area. So they've drained this down. Like you can see right here, this would be way back past what I'm talking about here. But I show you this to talk about a couple of things here. This lake is prime real estate for Florida strain bass. So here's what I am going to do. There is the director of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Her name is Mary Mertz, Mertz. I'm going to shoot an email out to her tomorrow, actually, when I get to work, and just explain what we've been trying to do with Paintsville and all that stuff, and explain why this small 150-acre lake in southern Ohio is the most prime spot for F1s to be introduced to do a small-scale test. Here's why I say that. It's a really pretty lake, but there's nothing around it. A lot of folks travel from the area to come there because there's some big bass in there, or there used to be. What would happen if you had the opportunity to catch a 10-pound bass there? Well, first off, DeLong's Pizza, shout out to them. I haven't had one of their pizzas yet, but I have seen so many pizzas that makes my mouth water every time I see it. It's open out, and it's right beside where you turn in to go to Vesuvius. There's also a carryout out there. There's a lot of different things out there. So one, the folks that are traveling there to try to catch these bass helps those things out, funnel some more money into the area. But the way that I look at this here, and why I think that we have a pretty good opportunity to get them to say yes, is the following reasons. I think that we can go at them saying, look, you guys are going to need to put fish back in this lake when it's filled back up. That's obvious. Like half the population of these bass probably dead. One, due to the fact that there's water shrinkage, less oxygen in the water due to less water there for it to be oxygen rich. And it's been hot the last few months since it's been drained like that. So one, it's killing fish due to oxygen depletion. But I feel like that when the water's low like that, the predators around the area, whether that be birds of prey or things like foxes, coyotes, and stuff, have a better chance of catching these fish because it's literally like shooting fish in a barrel, right? It's less water, easier for these things to see it, easier for these things to get a hold of these fish, etc. So I feel like that we can go at them and at least get the opportunity to have the ability to turn F1s in ourselves. And here's what I mean by that. Work with Jason Kenner and the folks that he knows. Also, some private donations. I know people like Borders and places like that would be apt to throw in some money at this. I would throw some money in on it. I'm sure Jared would throw some. I'm not asking for $1 million here. 20 or 30 bucks a piece goes a long way if there's 1,000 of us, right? And then we go in and we say, here's the deal. Here's why we want to turn them loose here. Here's what the benefits of it. Here's the negatives that people say and why we think the negatives don't exist. The northern lineage, if you will, of, being depleted or being kind of bred out is bullcrap, because I guarantee you the fish that are in that lake are not pure northerns anyway, because, again, the reason I say that is because this lake was totally drained down to a small babbling brook through the center of it for like a year when they rebuilt that entire dam. This has been like 20 years ago. They then restocked that lake with some form of bass. And I can almost guarantee you they just went to a random fish hatchery and bought some largemouth bass and threw them in there. Now, I guarantee you that they didn't do any kind of research or any kind of genetics on these fish to make sure that they were pure northern bass. So I can guarantee you that they're not. I can almost guarantee you that they're not 100% pure northern because they're not naturally occurring there. They were stocked 20 years ago. So not only can they not really say that, hey, these are pure northern, and we don't want to degrade the northern lineage of these bass because they were stocked in there initially, and I guarantee you they didn't do any kind of research. But they're going to have to put more bass in there, and if we could say, hey, look, we'll put in, 20,000 F1 bass. I mean, what's that cost? I mean, you got to figure that's probably 50 grand, I would say. 20,000 F1 bass that are like fingerling in length and not like, I'm not talking about fry. I'm talking about like 3 to 6 inches long, like they were going to do in Pinksville. You're probably looking at $50,000. Now, it seems like an insurmountable amount of money, but again, there's so many people in this area that would be into throwing some money there. There's money out there available. Jason Kenner actually turned down, I think, like $20,000 or $10,000 this past year. Don't quote me on that number, but they had to turn it down because they didn't have anything to do with the money. It was actually going to go. I'm wrong on that. It just hit me what it was. It was money to go to Yatesville to put like fake reefs and stuff in there, reef balls and all that other stuff, man-made structure, and they had to turn the money down due to the fact that Yatesville didn't have the machinery as far as like boats and stuff to put them out there. So they had to turn the money down. So there's money out there available. But in the next couple of days, I'm going to be reaching out, and I might try to make like a poll to have you guys sign it, just basically saying, hey, I think this is a great idea, something that we can get behind here. And the fact of the matter is that I don't feel like we have a better opportunity anywhere in our area to get these F1s put in somewhere other than Vesuvius, because let's face it, the fishing there sucks. If they could bring some extra money and people in there, and I was talking about to JR a minute ago before we got online, like if it turns into like a really good lake, like you could turn it into like a Cedar Creek, almost like a trophy style lake where it's catch and release only up to a certain extent. Like you can keep stuff like under 12 inches long, or if you wanted to keep a trophy style bass, it has to be like 18 inches long or bigger. It would have to be a true trophy before you could keep it. But another thing that you could do there right now, the boat ramp is a travesty. It's, like I said, it's been that way for a long time. And you can't hardly get boats in there. But if you had a lake that was really close, fairly close to you, that you could go and catch 5 to 10 pound bass in pretty regularly, I would be willing to pay anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks a day to fish that lake, which then could take that money and keep up with the lake. 1, keep adding fish to the lake. 2, keep the boat ramp dredged, pave the boat ramp, etc. So it's basically takes care of itself in the long run.
Yeah, I think actually there is a fishery that's in around OU in Athens. So, I mean, I would think they would probably want to get involved because I've looked at their stuff before.
Talking about Lake White?
No, the actual, like, the people that hatchery that actually grow the F1 bass. It's in Athens. For purchase. So with it being
I had it wrong. It's not Lake White. It's Lake Snowden is what I was trying to say. Lake Snowden Fish Hatchery.
But with them being from Ohio, maybe they would be willing to help, But
yeah, Tony, what's up, buddy? I see you there, Buckeye Bushcraft in the house. But yeah, so if you guys are just now joining us, we're talking about trying to get F1s put in Lake Vesuvius, and it's local to us, so I got a little bit more of an idea about it. But the idea of putting F1s in Vesuvius, I guess I need to do more research about it. How much water does it actually take to sustain an F1 bass? I really don't think it's the amount of water. I think it's the amount of forage that it has. Because if you think, I don't know this to be true, but if you just think about commonsensical here, if an F1 bass gets twice as big as a northern strain bass, they're obviously going to eat probably twice as many bait fish, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a lot of bait fish in there too, for sure.
Yeah, so it's one of those
I've
things
actually
where
never been there, Tyler. I don't know.
that's what I mean. So like if we put 20,000 F1s in there and put 50,000, or I don't know, wouldn't have to be 50,000, 10,000 threadfin in there or something, like to kind of like amp up the food chain before the bass get big enough to really eat them. That give those bass or those threadfin a little bit. Maybe threadfin's not the best thing because I think they need some water that's moving, but maybe just standard shad or something like that. But I mean, I think there's a great opportunity here to make this happen.
Definitely, it's. I mean, with it being drained, I mean, what do they have to lose? They are. I mean, they've essentially killed off every bass that was in there. So
Yeah. So I mean, I think that there's probably still some alive, but you got to figure that there's a lot of the population dead. And the thing about it is, they stocked that thing 20 years ago, and as far as I know, they've never put anything else in there other than trout. Since then, they stocked it with fingerling style catfish, probably channel cats, only bass. Probably there's probably some crappie in there, which I know there are, but the crappie could have came out of Paddle Creek. It's hard to say, but they stocked it once and basically said, you guys are good to go." And it's grown some really big bass over the last few years. I mean, it's been in there for 20 years. I mean, I knew of a 7+ pounder that was caught out of there last year, about 7.5, to be honest with you. There's some big bass in there. But if you had the opportunity to put F1s in there, especially now that, it seems like strike while the iron's hot and, kind of give it one of those good old college try, I'm gonna try to see what happens with it.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we can fight for just about anywhere because at this point we've gotten kind of nowhere as far as being able to get it in, just because everywhere we go we're stopped in some way. But
Yeah, and the reason I think that we have a pretty good idea here is that the fact that they don't care about Vesuvius, it's obvious because you can't put a boat in there. So if they cared about the fishery, they would dredge that out. But it's kind of weird. Tony, that's awesome. F1's, dude, I tell you what, I've been to Falls Lake one time in my life. Matter of fact, I think that's how we've had this conversation before. That's how Tony has found us, is because he lives down near Falls, and I caught I caught the biggest bass I've ever caught in my life at Falls Lake. And it was a cool lake to fish. There's some absolute hammers in there, but dude, talk about putting F1s in that place. Like, you're going to start seeing Falls Lake hit the map in the next 5 years. If that's the case, I can almost guarantee you that.
Yeah, and that's something that they, there are ways to calculate the economic growth of all of this, and that's where our region is falling behind. I mean, me and Brent, for instance, went down to Chickamauga and to Nickajack, and there's Brent right there, the whacker frog. So we stayed for 2 days, and this is in anticipation for the Casting for Kids tournament next month. And we ate there every night. We went to the tackle shops there, spent money. I mean, it's just something that people don't realize. I mean, it's like everything benefits in their economy. So, I mean, these places, especially Tennessee, has done such a great job of putting F1 bass. I think Kentucky and Ohio are behind, which West Virginia, I guess, started recently. Hopefully, I never did see a report that they actually put it in, or pictures that they actually put it in, but they were supposed to put it in 4 or 5 different lakes. Yeah, Brent, the story behind the whacker frog with Brent is, so Brent told me, I've never caught a fish on a frog before. And I said, well, we're going to go to Chickamauga and you're going to catch a fish on a frog. Absolutely. And he caught one, more than one over time. And then I kept asking him, what kind of frog is that? I've never seen that. And he finally found it. And it was called the Teckel whacker frog. so
I got one better for you guys than that. I was showing Jared this. I was telling him about it, but I'm going to show you, Brent, because you think the whacker frog is actually the best bait that they make. It's actually not. It
They
is
embrace
actually
it.
it's actually the Teckle USA Good Pecker.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah. I mean,
Super deal.
60%, dude, 60% off, and it's $10. Oh, it's $25 normally. I'm gonna have to get me a Teckle Good Pecker.
I can't imagine that thing walking very well with with that thing laying down there like that. But maybe that's the reason why it's $10 instead of 25.
Well, bro, I'm gonna call a spade here. If I had a pecker that big, I'd have a hard time walking myself.
Yeah, Britt said, I love the names. And actually, Brent went down to Gunnersville and had him some luck. I think he caught him a 6.5 pounder the other day. So,
yeah, that's right.
Man, Gunnersville is on fire.
We need like a soundboard to play like when somebody catches one. Brent, just so you know, Teckle has a choker frog.
Oh Lord, we're going the wrong direction here.
Let's see what else they have.
Teckle makes some good baits, though. I mean, they really do, and they're old school.
They have the Teckle USA Duck Roker. The honker frog.
There's Brent's 6.5 pounder right there.
The honker frog. Nice.
Yeah, that thing looks long. So, congrats, Brent.
Yep. Awesome.
Glad you made it back home safely, too. That's a pretty good trip.
Yeah, man. I'm jealous as all get out. You know, and again, the thing about it is, it's sad that we have to travel so far around here for good fishing lakes. But with that being said, that's why we need to get F1s put in Vesuvius. Like, strike while the iron's hot. Make sure it happens. I'm going to send out some emails. I'm going to call our game warden, because our game warden, I asked him to be on the show many times, and it's not that he has said no. He has basically said that it really wasn't his thing, and he would be willing to help us out no matter what, as long as we could show the need for it. Meaning, like, if we needed more bass put in Vesuvius, that's kind of what we're talking about anyway, is that they don't stock anything in our area. So he was saying that, you know, we just basically uses us as a mediator between you guys out there that are fishing and us too, trying to figure out what lakes need fish in them. Well, now the deal is, with Vesuvius being drained here, 150-acre lake, we have the opportunity to put some fish in there. And again, it's a small scale. It's 150 acres. Is it going to, like, can it potentially explode past 150 acres? I mean, it could potentially, because there's a Paddle Creek runs all the way through there. Obviously, it's fed by Paddle Creek. That's how it gets water in it. Then it goes over the spillway and goes down Paddle Creek again to probably eventually Sims Creek into the river. So potentially, can those F1 bass become a nuisance in other lakes? They potentially could, but I really don't think. I think the negatives. I think it's smoke that they don't want to get rid of, because it would be money that they would have to spend year after year. Because, you know, if we put F1s in Vesuvius, it's a 150-acre lake, and you can't get in the parking lot of that lake in 5 years. Every other place on the planet is going to be begging for these F1s, and they're going to be, you know, on the hook to put these things in here. But if we did this as a private event, saying like, hey, we're putting these in ourselves, and they were like, look, we didn't do that. That was a private deal. If you guys want to put F1s in your lake, you're going to have to fund it too. So it kind of gives us an opportunity to give that route also.
Oh, Lord.
What's up, Jack?
I heard that you were on the fishing show, so I just rushed down here without my shirt on.
Him and his buddy were looking on online to see if if there was any videos with him on them. So he's happy to get on the show.
That's right. Jordan Case, they do stock trout at least once a year. It's usually before the Wheeling Sportsman event, and I really think they do that to try to amp up the catch rates for those folks, which I'm all for. But I think your point here is that, stocking trout in that lake and then having F1s in that lake, now we are talking. Now they become trout eating monstrosities of southern style bass where you go pitch under a log and set the hook on a fish that within 10 years might be a 15-pound bass. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I mean, we know that these bass grow twice as fast, so it's the possibilities are awesome. It's just getting somebody to allow us to do it.
Right, and that's why I want to start at the top of the food chain. I want to start at the director of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Again, her name is Mary Mertz. I assume she goes by Dr. Mertz because it says that she has a she might be a lawyer, actually. Got her undergraduate degree from at American University, a master's degree at George Washington University, her juror's doctorate at the Ohio State Moritz College of Law. So apparently, jury's doctorate. So I think she's probably some sort of lawyer, if not a juror or a judge. I meant. In her past life, she is now the director of the Department of Natural Resources. I'm gonna fire her an email tomorrow to try to explain to her why I think this is a good idea and ask her what the appropriate steps would be to get this approved. Is this a Senate-based thing where it's so Vesuvius is it a state park? Like, I don't know. I'm going to search Vesuvius here. I think it has to be a state park because it's on recreation.gov.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, but it doesn't say anything about being a state park. It says Lake Vesuvius Fishing Area. This is on Ohio DNR. Lake Vesuvius Recreation Area contains a 143-acre lake, 2 campgrounds, picnic area, group camping, fishing, boating, hiking, and an archery trail. There's an electric motors only restriction on Vesuvius. What? I didn't know that.
You've idled all over that place, right?
No, I have not, but I've seen some folks out there that do. 6.5 miles north of Ironton, just off State Route 93, which is true. Let's see. Lake Vesuvius is named the historic Vesuvius Iron Furnace. The historic iron furnace is located at the base of the dam. 1939, the Narrows of Storms Creek offered a site for this lake, which were dammed by Civilian Conservation Corp. So I don't think it is a state park. I think it's a state recreation area. Which gives us a different view. Like, this doesn't have to get political here. It seems like this is like a local run lake. I know they have their own natural resources department out there. They have their own forest rangers out there. I'm sure they get paid with state money, but I don't think that it's a state park, which is going to make it that much easier. It says federal. Ben says it's federal. He would know. He lives out that way. If that's the case, then we might as well forget it putting F1s in there. We're not going to.
Yeah, we're hosed.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's worth a shot. Again, Vesuvius right now is drained down to next to nothing. It would be awesome if we could. I'm going to try. I'm going to send the lady an email, the director of the Department of Natural Resources for Ohio, tomorrow during my lunch hour to see what I can do. Because again, I feel like that they're always going to say no unless you ask. Like, they don't have to say no, but there's two options if you ask a question. They're going to tell you no, or they're going to tell you maybe, or yes in this case, probably going to be a maybe. But like, if that's true, it is a federal lake. There's no way they're putting bass in there that are F1s. I wouldn't imagine. But that was down goes Frazier moment right there. That was the right hook.
Need to get in touch with Wayne National. I don't know what that means.
Wayne National Forest. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Now it does kind of make sense that you say that, because the forest rangers that work out there are employed by Wayne National. So all of that area, and it's from here, it goes all the way to like Columbus or towards Athens. It's Wayne National Forest. It's a big giant group of trees and recreation areas here. But that's a great idea. Thank you for that, Ben. Maybe the Mertz lady is not who I need to be contacting. Maybe it is Wayne National Forest that I need to get a hold of. And again, the reason I'm asking you guys this is that, I'm going to try to spearhead this thing. I'll try to bring Jason Kenner in because he has way more knowledge on the F1 series of fish than I do. They have the they've got it approved in Kentucky, and they're being stalemated there, obviously. But if we can use that information and be like, here, we tried to get it done here. It went through the state, it went through the Senate there. The Senate says, yep, the Senate and the House approved it. And then now we're getting through the Army Corps of Engineers. They're putting the stifle here to it, or putting the kibosh to it. But I think that lake, being a 150-acre lake, gives us a small scale, because anything scientific, guys, you guys know as well as I do, that scientific, the trials start out as small-scale tests. They're not going to say, let's put F1s in Lake Erie. They're never going to do that ever. I get it. I totally understand that. But this is a small, relatively unknown lake that is basically drained at this point. They're going to have to put bass in there. If we can raise enough money to put F1s in there, the only thing they got to do is just say yes, rubber stamp it. Here's a piece of paper that says you have the ability to put X amount of Florida strain bass in there. It's up to you guys to come up with the money and make it happen. That's the easy part. If we get the okay, I guarantee you, if it costs $50,000 to stock this lake, there's enough people in this area, enough businesses that will be about it. I mean, I can just think of some in my head right now. I mean, you look at Mullins Marine, Border Sporting Goods, Great Outdoors, which is in West Virginia. One of them is in Kentucky. Like, there's places that are around here that would throw, even if it's $100, man, $100 chips away at 50 grand pretty quickly. Again, if there's 1,000 people. If everybody chips in $100 and there's 1,000 people, that's 100 grand. So that means if there's 1,000 people, we're only looking for 50 grand, $50 a piece. Or if somebody donates $100, then the next person only has to donate 25, etc. Getting the money is the easy part. Especially, we're not talking about super large scale here. We're not talking about something that's going to cost $1 million. We can do very small scale. We could put 50,000 bass in there. What were they going to do? They were going to do like 5,000, I think. In Paintsville for 3 to 5 years, I think. I mean, even at that small scale, I think it's worthwhile to try to reach out to those folks and try to make this happen, because, again, right now we're at the precipice of having to put taxpayer money back into that water anyway, because they're going to have to stock some bass, I guess, or not. Maybe they don't. Maybe like, hell, it just goes with whatever you get. It didn't kill the fish. You just get what you get. 5 years from now, you'll be able to catch another bass that's 2 pounds. But, like there was I wish I could find the article. There was an article several years ago, and I want to think it was Ohio Game and Fish actually did the article about Vesuvius, where they supposedly put 5,000. And I'm not exaggerating on this number. I'm almost 100% positive. It was 5,000 Christmas trees in Lake Vesuvius. If you look at these pictures, let's just look at these pictures again. Share my screen here with this is compliments of 740 Dronography. These are not my photographs. Let's look at these All right, so you can look right here. There's some trees right here, and there's some Christmas trees out from this area right here. But 5,000 trees, guys, and this is the biggest part of the lake here. If they put 5,000 trees, and I'm almost guaranteed, I'm gonna see if I can Google this thing and to make sure because the number of trees that they supposedly put in there blew my mind. Like myself, Aaron Strickland, we were sending this thing back and forth to each other. Like I was like, oh my God, 5,000 trees. I could promise you right now, that was a load of malarkey if it was 5,000 trees. Maybe 500, but I think it was Ohio Game and Fish. Let's see if I can find the article.
So they messed up the dam, and then they got rid of those too.
Yeah. I want to see if I can find. It was an article, man. It was been several years ago. No, it wasn't that long ago because I had my Solix at this point. And I've only had this 3 years. Let's see here. I'm looking at a Iron Tribune. It wasn't a local paper. It was like, I swear, I think it was Ohio Game and Fish. But I can't find. I'll have to find that article or try to find it over the next couple of days. But it was an absurd amount. I'm going to think it was like 5,000. But you can look at those pictures there, and if that's the truth that they did put 5,000 in there, they're nowhere to be found. I mean, you would see trees, maybe not exactly right in the center, but 5,000 trees, dude, in Lake Vesuvius is a lot. But I think that, I think it's worth going at and finding out. I'll reach out to Wayne National Forest.
It doesn't look like a big lake at all. I mean, it's not like you have a ton to lose. I mean, we could do, look up to see how many for that size you would really need bait fish versus, because it's going to need everything. I mean, whether they like it or not, they're going to be putting a lot of money into that lake.
Well, or they're not. That's the other issue is like we as anglers could get hosed on that end too. And again, I don't fish Vesuvius that often, maybe 10 times a year. But it's nice for me, like when I get off work at 3 o'clock, it's a 10-minute drive from my house. I can go out there, I can drop my boat in there, I can fish for 4 or 5 hours and come home. It's cheap. You can only run a trolling motor. I can put my trolling motor on high, get all the way to the back of it in like 10 minutes. So it's, like I said, it's a 143-acre lake according to the stuff that's on there. But just be, looking in the next couple of days or hopefully in the next week or so for some information coming out on the On Another Line Facebook page. I'm going to reach out, see what we can do. I'll reach out to Wayne National Forest. I'll reach out to the Mary Mertz lady. I'll reach out to Jason Kenner, try to get some information about, what he has, pros and cons and stuff that he's seen. Oh, sorry. I had to sneeze there, but I'm going to try it, see what happens. But if you guys see like a pole that's out there, share that thing, because anybody that fishes, even if they don't fish Vesuvius, would want to see F1s put in there. I can guarantee it.
Well, that's a big thing is just getting it going in one spot.
Yeah, it's a good place to get it started because 5 minutes from my house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
What's up, Ace?
Oh, he just decided to come in and hang out with us a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, bug eye.
Yeah. Chickamauga. I have a love-hate relationship for that place. I think Jared does now too.
It's a tough lake, man. It's a whole different thing. Like, if you want to learn how to fish grass, Chick and Gunnersville, I've never seen so much grass in my life. It's completely different, and I feel like every time I go down there and fish those lakes, you really learn a lot, and that's even when it's tough, like it was, like just learning how. I mean, I the first time I tried to punch into a mat, I had a 1 ounce weight and it hit the mat and just sat on it. So I had to go up to 1.5 ounce weight to even get through mats, which was wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on about that. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about it. For the simple fact is, I don't even own an ounce weight. 3/4 is the biggest I got.
I've got some ounce and a half, just knowing I was going to do this, but yeah, it's definitely pretty hefty, and I'm not going to lie, I did not have much fun throwing that big of a weight, just because you got to have the right setup, and I did not have the right setup for it. But
yeah, I get that. Reminder about the River Rat here in a couple weeks. If you're interested in that, you need to get a hold of somebody from the River Valley Bass Club. It's $200 to enter for the 2-day event. As far as I know, you cannot pay at the ramp. It's the way it was last year. You had to be pre-registered. I think when I ran the River Rat, the very first day when you have all those people show up, I had $10,000+ in my truck. So very scary. One, I was fishing, so I left Misty alone with my truck and money. She went home, locked it up in the safe. But at that point, you have $10,000. You don't pay out any money the first day. So literally, what somebody could do there is that you pay in advance. They have the money locked up in a safe. They only bring it day 2. It keeps everything safe in this crazy world we're living in. I pack heat, so I pity the fool. Say when, you know what I mean? I'm your Huckleberry. I'm that dude. Not like I'm that. That dude. But it keeps the money out of harm's way. Again, it's a great tournament. When Mike Drummond ran it way back when, who was Kyle's uncle, that's how we took it over. We took it over in 2019, and it was a great time, man. We had an awesome turnout. We had like 35 boats, which is not really that big for the River Rat. It's a 50 boat max. One thing I will say, I was hoping to have the river or the ramp paved down there by then. It's not going to happen. There's no way. So hopefully it's this year. I mean, I don't know. What I don't want to see happen is them kick off that thing right when the River Rat's happen, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen. But next year we will have a really nice ramp down there in Cold Grove. But the River Rat is awesome. If you're interested in an Ohio River Bass Tournament, it's a great one to get into. It is expensive. It's $200 entry, but they pay out both days. I think it's first, second, third. When we ran it was first, second, third, fourth, and big bass for both days, and an overall winner. I think Brandon Klein ended up winning it. Him and T. Roy. They won one day and won the overall, and had like big bass one day. They won it was like $5,500 they won in tournament fishing the Ohio River, which is pretty cool.
Dale, yes, it is, man. Nickajack is it's got just as much grass, if not more, and it's got all the right types of grass, man. That is definitely something, and reading a mat is super interesting, and I'm not the best at it, but I'm learning, and that's all I can kind of say about that. But you got to listen to it, you got to know what it looks like, and know how to get through it, and one step at a time.
Yeah. Nickajack. It's one like I've never been to. I want to go. I am looking at traveling to Arizona here in January, so I'm hoping to check Arizona off the list of catching a bass. I got to travel there for work.
Yeah, there's some big lakes out that way. A lot of those big out west guys are super into Arizona lakes, Arizona, California, swim bait land.
Yeah, Ben, I'm sure you probably put this up there, Jared, but you're right, Ben. But Lake Vesuvius and Timber Ridge is what he's all talking about. They drained Timber Ridge also to fix the dam, and they done that all wrong. I'm not an engineer. I don't plan, and I don't claim to be a structural engineer or whatever, but they were working on there was a slip in the dam, and it was like the top half of the dam. They didn't even have to freaking drain the lake. They could have brought some excavators in there. They could have brought some fill dirt and filled that stuff in and not have to worry about it. But they haven't done anything out there for years, man. And it's totally drained too. So there's not that much here. So maybe we can use both of those lakes as like a testing ground. We will put northern strains in Timber Ridge and put F1s in Vesuvius and see which one blows up the quickest. See how many people are there. I don't look down on folks for their religion or whatever, but I do know that the folks, when I go out to Timber Ridge, there would be 20 Amish men out there. And I'm one thing that I will call a spade. Those jokers don't give a crap about krill limits.
No, that's for they're feeding family, and they will take everything out of there they can get.
Yeah, and there's no limits to them. They might take 100 bass. If they can catch 100 bass, 100 bass going back to the property with them, which, again,
ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not right, but whatever. I mean, we were looking at the way of all catch and release sucks too. So there's got to be a happy medium. But maybe this is an opportunity. Say, hey, we'll put northern strains back. From what I understand, though, somebody told me the other day that they pretty much have stopped working on Timber Ridge. There's no there's no equipment out there. I'm not sure. I haven't been out there, so don't quote me on that. But it's like they've all but stopped. They got to a point and they just stopped it. They weren't going to fix it. They're just going to leave it drained for the rest of their life, which sucks. There's a really nice house that's right on that lake. I would hate to have that person's house right now if they're not going to put water back in it. It's like, oh, you live on a lake? I used to.
It used to be so beautiful.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
But anywho, let's see. I was looking for the date of River Rat is on always the first full weekend in October, so that's going to be October 4th and 5th. Let's see here. I got to check my calendar here. Because this is weird to say. I'm just checking on my phone here really quick. I was asked the other day if I was going to fish the River Rat, and I told them no because of prior obligations. Let me look at this here. I know what it is. I have a home football game that day, and it's on a freaking Saturday. We're playing some Columbus team. I live stream all the games. It's on a Saturday. So that kind of puts a wrench in the plans. Sucks. But I will not be fishing it. I'll be fishing the river between now and then, which sucks too, by the way. Water right now is stagnant. There is a algae bloom in Ohio River. That's been confirmed due to the folks around the Ohio River between Maysville and Proctorville having funny tasting water from their spigots in their house. Most of the areas around here get their drinking water from the Ohio River. It is filtered, obviously, but apparently it doesn't filter the algae taste out of it.
And Jack is fishing on Minecraft.
Sweet. Minecraft fishing.
Oh, yeah, man. In Minecraft all the time.
Yeah.
So totally different. This has nothing to do with fishing here, but Minecraft was its own entity. It was made by Mahjong or whatever it was, and now Microsoft owns it. And since then, they've turned it into an $80 billion company.
Mhm.
I think Moj made Minecraft. Isn't that right?
I don't know, buddy.
Yeah, I think that's right. Bro,
Yeah,
can
maybe it
you-
was Mojang. Anyway,
You stupid piece of semen.
Yeah, well, everything is, for this upgrade, $5. For
Bruh.
this, $5. So,
Bro, there is no dollars in Minecraft. There's only diamonds and emeralds.
mhm.
awesome. Well, tell you what, guys, we're at that 50-minute mark. I'm going to do my best to try to get in contact with some folks. Keep a lookout on the Facebook page here in the next couple of days, up to the next week. I'm going to reach out to some folks, see what I can come up with some ideas. Again, if you see like a poll out there on the Facebook post, please share it and give your honest opinions there, because they're not going to just listen to me. We're going to have to have a backed, kind of approach here, like a tiered approach. So just guys, keep a lookout at that, and we'll be diving into that when we get going here soon. And with that being said, if you guys get out there and catch some fish, and get out there on the Ohio River Rat on the first weekend in October, pay your money to the folks that are running it. Again, that is River Valley Bass Club. You can get a hold of Larry Slack here. He'll put you into contact with folks. I think Borders probably has some, I would say, I know Freedom Outdoors probably has them. Chris Malone probably has them. They're all entry forms. You can sign up there and get your money into them and get signed up. Again, $200, but you have an opportunity to win a pretty good amount of money for a 2-day Ohio River tournament.
And then, of course, Casting for Kids Classic is going to be the 18th and 19th at Chickamauga. If you finished in the top 100 in either of those events at Kentucky or Tennessee, Douglas, you can enter. And my suspicion is he's going to open it up to a lot more people. So, Tony, keep an ear out if you're really interested in going, man, because I think that last year, that's how me and Tyler fished it. We didn't qualify for, I forget what it was. It wasn't quite as many boats, basically. I put it that way. So we didn't do that. But
it was the top 50, wasn't it?
I think so. Because I think we were like 56th or something out of the 160 some. But anywho, should be a good time.
Yep, all good there. Strix Marine Plus in the house. What's up, man? We're hopping off here, man. I apologize, but we're going to try to get F1s in Vesuvius. I'll get a hold of you. Also, if you need me to print those things for me, you need to email them to me. I do have the potential to do so, so let me know if you need that. But again, with that being said, if you guys can, you know what to do. Get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of On Another Line Live. We truly appreciate your support, and we couldn't do it without all the amazing folks at home watching week after week. A big thank you goes out to our sponsors, who help make this show possible. Malone's Marine, Borders Sporting Goods, Solar Bat Sunglasses, Picasso Lures, Shimano, and Columbia Sportswear. Their partnership allows us to keep bringing you the content you love. We'll see you next time on Another Line. Until then, get out there and lean on them.